The third episode of She-Hulk is out, and we have a lot to tell you. Wong's appearance on the show, what does Megan Thee Stallion have to do, and who will be the main antagonist? That and much more we will tell you in the next couple of minutes. But in the meantime, make some tea and write your impressions about the third episode in the comments. Hello, this is Non-Spoiler Channel, and today we are going to tell you what you might have missed in the third episode of She-Hulk. The new show from Marvel got off to a very brisk start and a less brisk sequel. Already in the first series, you could tell that it would have a hard time maintaining such a momentum and sticking to such a first-paced narrative. And as a result, we saw second and third episodes, a typical feeling, the events of which do not move the main plot much, returning to it only for a couple of minutes at the very end. The main plot of the series revolves around Emil Blonsky's parole from prison, and already on we find out that escaping Abomination from custody wasn't his idea and he didn't want to do it. What he really wanted was to go back to his cell and continue serving his sentence, and this whole mess was actually started by the public's favorite Vaughn. Breaking the fourth wall has become a hallmark of this series, and I wonder if this will remain a nice feature of the series or will affect the plot as it did in the comics. Before meeting the Supreme Wizard, John Walters breaks the fourth wall again. From his story, it is clear about the creator's ambition to do something new, unlike anything else. That in the series, the characters, which everyone knows, will not appear just for the sake of appearances and extra hype. Though here She-Hulk herself knows that so far that the way it comes out. The character cites Bruce Banner and Emil Blonsky, who have appeared on the show relatively recently. Then she adds Vaughn to that list as well. It could also mean that the appearance of Devil of the Hell's Kitchen Daredevil will be just as minor, to the chagrin of fans. But this series is the jumping-off point for the characters before their next projects. For Frosty, the next project will be Thunderbirds. For Daredevil, a series about this character. And for Mark Ruffalo's character, most likely a movie or a series about Planet Hulk. After the second series of She-Hulk, it became clear that the events of the series were unfolding after the movie Eternal, but it remained a mystery to fans before or after Spider-Man No Way Home. And now, after the third series, we know for sure it is after. Vaughn says in a conversation with his lawyer that he definitely won't erase memories at a second time, and that's a clear reference to the third installment of the Friendly Neighbor adventures in the cinematic universe. And it's too bad. Surely Marvel Studios has its own plan for the film universe, but it would have been interesting to see how the superhero advocacy department led by She-Hulk would have dealt with Spider-Man. Speaking of references, we want to know the QR code on the laptop, clicking on which we will get to the site with the free Marvel Comics She-Hulk. MCU started giving QR codes with free comics back in the Moon Knight, for which we can't help but praise them. These kinds of references add interest to the series, but let's move on. When Vaughn lists places to hide Emil Blonsky in case of emergency, in addition to the mirror dimension, he also brings up the dark dimension. And you and I know that these are not just words. It is the dark dimension that is the birthplace of Clea, the heroine, who in the scene after the credits of the second Doctor Strange came to the wizard for help. So this seemingly insignificant appearance of Vaughn in this series is not just fan service, it is a very important event for the entire cinematic universe. After all, this is the moment that becomes the link for the entire fourth phase of Marvel, and before that, all the movies looked like self-contained stories with little to do with the multiverse saga. In the new episode of She-Hulk, as in the Marvel series in general, For the first time, there is an extra story. Now we know more about the legal cases that the department deals with. In Thor 2 Reign of Darkness, we thought the Dark Elves led by Malekith. Now we are shown the Light Elves, or to be more precise, one elf woman named Rune. The main feature of these creatures, they can change their form, turning into different people. There is another cameo associated with this plot, which became a high-profile event on the web. Megan Thee Stallion's appearance has already been called online an outstanding moment, which proves that the MCU is as culturally relevant as ever. We, for our part, will not rush into loud statements about it. Let's just say that if the show hadn't featured Megan Thee Stallion, we probably wouldn't have seen another funny scene after the credits. In a recent interview, series executive producer Kate Coiro revealed that the lead actress Tatiana Maslany is a huge fan of the performer, and the scene after the credits, where they twerk together, was written on the fly. As we said before, the third episode of She-Hulk is a typical villain where the main plot is only touched upon at the end. So, in the series final, we were introduced to another villainous team that, unlike its comic book prototypes, turned out to be more ridiculous than intimidating. The Wrecking Crew made their debut in the MCU. The Wrecking Crew are a supervillain gang consisting of 4 thugs: the Crusher, Thunderbolt, Bulldozer, and Slaughterman. In the comics, as in a TV series, they also used Asgardian weapons, but were much stronger and more dangerous. They could compete not only with Thor, but also with the most powerful superhero alliances. However, in the series, this gang looks more like a bunch of someone's henchmen who can't do anything right. Their task was to get a sample of the She-Hulk's blood for a certain boss, which begs the question, who would want Jean Walter's blood, and who is this mysterious boss? A suitable candidate for the role of another villain of the series could be the character we already recalled in our review of the first series, namely the scientist Samuel Stearns, also known as Leader. He, like Abomination, appeared in the 2008 movie The Incredible Hulk, and there he also had a weakness for the Hulk's natural fluids. At the end of the movie, Samuel Stearns, under the influence of Banner's blood, mutates into the Leader. Perhaps now he wants to further enhance his abilities and needs a sample of Hulk's blood to do so. But the Green Bully is very often out of the reach in a cinematic universe, unlike his cousin, who is now #1 on the TV channels and is like an open boat. As much as a larger appearance of Leader in the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been planned for a long time, it is still considered nothing more than rumor and theory. And that's all for today. Subscribe to our channel Non-Spoiler and do not forget to like this video. Leave your opinion in the comments who you think is the most suitable for the role of the main villain of the series, Titania from the first series or the Leader of the rumors and theories. See you in the new videos. Bye bye!